This is what I'm calling the copycat of the viral pistachio cream chocolate thing, but as a protein bar. Recently, I've seen this viral pistachio cream chocolate bar all over my feed. I'm too cheap to go to Dubai, so that's out. I've also seen a lot of copycat recipes popping up, but nobody's done a protein bar version of it yet, so here goes nothing. So first I put in 200 grams of a sugar-free syrup. I used a jasmine base, but you can use whatever you want. If you want to see a video on how I make my homemade sugar-free syrups, there will be a link here somewhere. Next, I put in 40 grams of any type of nut butter. Pistachio nut butter would obviously be the best choice, but I don't have any, and I don't even know where you can get it. So I just used some mixed nut butter I made recently. I threw in some salt, and then obviously I need some pistachio flavor, so then I threw in some pistachio jello mix. And then I mixed that all up, breaking apart any really big clumps. Otherwise, small clumps are fine. Once you're done mixing, pop it into the microwave for maybe like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, until there's bubbles forming. And you can take that out, and then you can throw in your dry ingredients. I used coconut flour, but I think almond flour will probably be better. This is just all I had. So I threw in 80 grams of coconut flour, and then about 200 grams of a chocolate-based protein powder. And then mix it until it's more or less just a sticky clump of protein ball thing. At that point, in order to imitate the little crispy stuff that they put in the pistachio cream, I'm using cereal or puffed kamut. You can use probably any other type of puffed cereal. I think that puff probably works the best. And here's just me struggling trying to open the bag of cereal. Hashtag not a chef. I just eyeballed the amount of cereal I threw in there. It shouldn't matter that much. Mix it until it's more or less incorporated. This also doesn't matter that much. Like this is fine. Then dump that onto some parchment paper. And here's a hack. Instead of using a bowl or a tray, just dump that onto the parchment paper. And obviously, as with all my other recipes, you have to get every single last morsel, because otherwise you're just wasting food, and that's not cool. That's not permitted. Okay, I'm not a chef, and that's still not permitted. But continuing with the hack, this way, if you just dump it onto parchment paper, you don't have to get your hands dirty. Just mold it and flatten it with the parchment paper. It might take some time to get used to, and also might be a little bit annoying at first just because of how sticky it is. But the more you mess with it and the more you kind of mold it, eventually the cereal gets more uniformly dispersed. And once you're able to just barely flatten it, then you're basically done. Fold the two sides together, then fold one of the edges in, and then just flip it over and start flattening. First with your hands, just so you have more control, and then after that you can use a rolling pin or maybe a glass bottle or something like that. Honestly, you're not saving that much money from making your own protein bars at home. I just find it kind of fun because you can experiment with all types of flavors that you like. For example, I've made apple pie, carrot cake, black sesame, ube matcha, and now this chocolate pistachio. Are they all successful? Not really, but it's kind of fun. Oh, also side note, when you're folding that top crease, make sure to fold it enough or else some of the protein might spill out and then some of it will get onto your counter and that might be a headache. It's not that big of a problem. You can always just eat it like I did, but the less cleaning the better. Oops. You'll most likely also have to add an additional piece of parchment paper, so just make sure to plan accordingly. Don't be stingy with your parchment paper, or just don't be a doofus like I was. That usually helps. And you're basically done. Just throw that into a plastic bag so you don't get freezer smell, and then chuck it in the freezer. Hopefully you have some space. If you didn't notice, here's me realizing I didn't put it in a plastic bag. Whoops. So, better light. This is what I'm calling the copycat of the viral pistachio cream chocolate thing. But as a protein bar. Chocolate pistachio. The cereal's kind of soggy, but it's a protein bar. What can you ask for? Pretty good. That's all.